Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning into today's video. We've got a special video today. We've got Wolves of Crypto here. We're going to be doing a collaborative video talking about Bitcoin, the price action, and actually going through a bunch of community questions today, which will be covering the macro, covering the economy, covering a whole different bunch of trading strategies, and a lot more stuff. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it, but I just want to go ahead and introduce Wolf. Wolf, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad. Yeah, we're ready to get into the charts today. We've got, as you said, a few questions to answer. We're happy to do that for you guys, so let's get into it.
Cool. And Wolf, you're not feeling too well today, how are you? Feeling a bit sick?
Yeah, just so you guys know, I've got a bit of a sore throat, but I'll cope. So if you hear me croaky, that's why.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll get into it. The short term has been quite impressive in the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, we saw quite a significant rally upwards from the breakout of this bull flag, and I've been hearing a lot of talk about, what drove this price movement upwards, and I think a lot of people are kind of linking it to the predicted Fed pivot, because the Fed pivot is becoming more and more likely, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But I think it's catching word on the street. Well, it's catching word now, and a lot of the retail investors are expecting the Fed to pivot, or at least expecting the interest rates to start dropping significantly. And I think that's what's kind of caused this move upwards. But looking from a technical standpoint, looking from a structural standpoint, we still are in this ascending channel. And this ascending channel is this black line over here, and this lower black line. We're kind of bouncing between that level. And we'll come talk about these red and green lines in a second. But if you just focus on the black lines first, we can kind of give a bit of an understanding about what's actually occurring. So we broke out of this descending channel over here. We pushed upwards. We had a nice move through this major trigger zone, and that sent us back up to over here. If you remember our video, I think 2 days ago, we were talking about these levels, and we said that the red levels are our major triggers. When we break through red levels, we generally fly up to our next levels. That's exactly what we did, and we caught that trade, made about 320% profit from a long we took down over here. Significant move up there, but let's go ahead and talk about these levels. So if we go ahead and remove everything from the chart, we can get a little bit of an understanding about what we're actually looking at, and then understand kind of how the price is looking in terms of strength. So what we see over here is we see a horizontal channel first and foremost between these two red lines. Then we see a gap, and then we see another resistance zone, and this is another resistance zone. So this is the big resistance zone we'll come back and talk about in a second. Moving down from here, we have our major support. So between our major support, which is our absolute bottom, and our next major resistance zone, which is here, we have this horizontal channel. And we were in this horizontal channel for about 3 weeks. We recently broke up to the upside. So now it poses the question, what do we expect to happen here? Well, we have to go ahead and look at these levels. So now this major resistance has turned into a major support, and this major resistance zone is still a major resistance zone. So what were we expecting? We do not expect a move upwards until this red line is broken and retested as support. Until then, the risk return on shorts are significantly more favorable than they are on longs. If we go ahead and put our stop loss above, you can see we have a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio, and that is assuming the support line holds. Realistically, it could come lower, it could come lower, it could come lower. So right now, your risk return on shorts are more favorable. I wouldn't be looking to overextend into longs on the short time frame. The longs should have already been taken, but that doesn't mean anything when we're taking a look at the macro. When we take a look at the macro later, you'll see that there is a lot of stuff looking really good on the macro, particularly some large macro trend lines have been broken, and I think Wolf wants to talk about that one in a second. But as you can see in the short-term time frame, guys, right now we are anticipating some sort of pullback until this red line is broken. If the red line breaks, we do expect a move to take us back upwards. Where will this move take us? It's very hard to say for sure, but my prediction would be up to this downtrending resistance, which is sitting just under 21,000. We've got next resistance for the diagonal level.
Yep.
Wolf, I think that's it, man. I think that's all I want to talk about in the short term. I might just mention that, worst case scenario, we lose these levels, we come back down, we break back into this horizontal range. The trigger for our short, the trigger for our confirmation that we're going back to 17.6, because I know a lot of people are still expecting a retest of 17.6. That's still possible, but the confirmation that will occur, we don't actually get that confirmation until we lose 18,400. So we could come all the way down here and go back up. We could realistically, we could do that. But the confirmation that we retest 17,600, at least the short-term confirmation, is the loss of 18,400. As you can see, this level here is acted as major support. Losing that level will clear that zone and we'll head back down to retest.
Yep, completely agree with that. I'll share my screen because I do want to add a few things there. Now you've got that diagonal line, which is very important. Now this could be seen, depending on how you draw it, it could actually be seen as a descending wedge, but it's not relevant at this point in time. But what I do want to talk about as well, a shorter term, you pretty much nailed it there. And I do want to especially emphasize the fact that longs here are not a smart move. Yes, we have broken, at least on my chart, at least on the Bitstamp chart, I should say, we have broken the downtrending line from November on the daily chart. However, I would argue that one daily close isn't really enough to fully confirm breakout there, especially considering the fact that we have an immediate overhead diagonal resistance as well as the horizontal stuff that you just mentioned. But that is pretty prominent. Right, that is pretty prominent. We have broken that downtrending line. Now, look, I said to my community, my followers yesterday that I wouldn't be buying on a daily close above this line. I would, however, be interested in buying if we do break this diagonal line as well. And so that's something to keep an eye on. Sorry, over the next few days. That you certainly should be watching that. Now, look, I've got a lot of things I want to talk about, but I have had a quick squeeze at the community questions, and I do think the community questions cover them pretty well. So I don't know if you want to jump straight into that, and that might segue into it.
Yeah, well, I think the community questions kind of cover what we were intending to talk about anyway, so maybe we'll just go ahead and jump into it. I'll go ahead and chuck on the screen share again, just so we can see what these questions are. And actually, that might be the wrong one. Let me go ahead and quickly put on this one. Cool, okay. Can you see my Twitter?
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool. So thanks to everyone who submitted these questions. We had a couple good questions in here. I guess we'll just start from the bottom and go up, because I think as we start going closer to the top, the questions become a little bit more in depth and more detailed. So we'll ask, what crypto/altcoins will you two be accumulating or have looked at for the upcoming cycle? I'm going to go ahead and answer this one first. Real simple. The only cryptocurrency we have accumulated is Bitcoin, and that's been from the June bottom at 18,000, and we had our accumulation zone. Of course, if you're on my VIP channel, you would have bought 18,000. You would have bought the bottom in June, and that accumulation zone extended to about 20,000 depending on your entries. We had lower targets, but that's the only one we're accumulating. We've already said that we're taking longs on altcoins at specific points, and we're going to leave those positions open if the market continues upward, adjusting our stops and basically turning a short-term swing into a longer-term hold. But we're not actually buying or accumulating per se, intentionally accumulating altcoins right now. We will accumulate altcoins once that bear market resistance breaks, because as I have done a video, and I know Wolf's also done a video on this, we're not going to go into it today, but we've both shown you guys how Bitcoin and altcoins move in terms of rate of return over different phases of the cycle. And generally Bitcoin will take the dominance, or Bitcoin will generally gain the most percentage over that first half of the cycle, and only after Bitcoin gets that first drop, altcoins start running. So you don't need to feel rushed to buy altcoins at the Bitcoin bottom, because generally altcoins have a lot of room to move, even if you catch altcoins when Bitcoin's gone up like 20 or 30% already. Wolf, what do you think?
I'll expand on that a little bit. In fact, I'll share a chart to expand on it.
Perfect.
Now, look, I strongly disagree with the concept of buying alt terms for long-term holds in any situation, pretty much ever. I mean, other than the very brief period between the halving and the bull market. And again, there's various reasons for this that I'm not going to get into too much, but all you really need to do is understand one main point and then understand two main charts. I'll start with the charts. The first thing you need to understand is that, as you said, with the Bitcoin dominance chart, but actually putting it into real Bitcoin price action, Bitcoin between the bottom and the halving on two historical occasions has moved up 450%. For example, in 2015 and 2016, we're looking at the total cryptocurrency market cap from January 2015 to May 2016. It only moved up around 400% as well. In fact, it moved up around 50% less than Bitcoin. The same thing was the case in 2018. And what this shows is that investing in Bitcoin versus investing in altcoins on a generalized scale between the bottom and the halving is actually going to give you a less return if you choose the altcoin option. On top of this, you're taking a massive risk in choosing altcoins, because unlike Bitcoin, altcoins don't have the proven longevity of Bitcoin. All right, so if you invest in altcoins and you start long-term buying altcoins at the Bitcoin bottom, what you end up seeing is your altcoins might actually die out. And also what you're doing is you're locking up your capital, so that when the prime opportunity to invest in altcoins before the bull run actually occurs, you would have missed out on around 18 months of technological advancements in the altcoin space. It's important to note, guys, and I'll end it off with this. It's important to note that altcoins don't necessarily thrive due to fundamentals. Altcoins are very heavily marketable, right? That's the market. And, me and Whale, myself and Whale, we know this quite well. Warchain was kind of a big coin for both of us during the bull market. We made a bunch of money on Warchain. We got 10x eaches on Warchain. But the point is, that coin should have performed a lot better if it was for the fundamentals. The point is, it didn't have the marketing. That's important to note. So when you're taking long-term investment in altcoins, just understand that fundamentals aren't everything, and you can't predict things with fundamentals. You've got to use that marketing. It's hard to get a good grasp of what the marketing will be like in 18 months when there's a lot of new competition in that altcoin space that's competing with your altcoins. So that's what I'd say to that. I don't think it's a good idea.
I totally agree. And I guess that comes down to the risk tolerance at the end of the day too. It's like, just because statistically and based on the charts, we see Bitcoin has a greater rate of return for the first half of that bull market, it doesn't mean you won't find an altcoin that would, triple, quadruple Bitcoin's return. It's just on average, if you take all the altcoins and look at the altcoin total altcoin market cap, it does a lower rate of return than Bitcoin. So it is a gamble in the sense going to altcoins. It really is, can you select the correct one? Can you get it at the right time? Are you going to get a bit lucky? Is the coin that you're going to select going to do well? There's a whole range of factors. And generally, from what we've experienced in the last two bull markets, particularly, the altcoins that do the best aren't the altcoins from last bull market or last cycle. Yeah. They are the new ones. So if you're looking to accumulate an altcoin now, the chances are next cycle, the ones that are going to do 100x, 200x or whatever, are going to be coins that probably aren't even out yet. And that's what we're going to leave that one on there for.
Alright guys, if you want to watch the remaining 30 minutes of this video, you're going to have to go over to Megawell's channel and watch the video there. We've posted it on his channel to give him a little boost there, but we talk about so much in this video, guys. We talk about the macro, we talk about how to trade, we talk about our differences in opinion in regards to the 4-year cycle theory, our slight differences in opinion in regards to the bottom. We go through a lot in this video. I'm really not exaggerating when I put in the thumbnail there, a deep dive, everything you need to know. This video is very, informative, and I highly recommend you go over to Megawell's channel and check out the rest of the video there. So I'll leave the link in the description and the pinned comment. Go check out his video. That's a must do. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I want to take a brief look into the BitGet exchange. Now, this is my favorite exchange. I use this exchange for trading personally. I think everyone in Wolves Crypto should do so. Why is that? Well, the reasons are very clear in my opinion. First and foremost, it's 5 times cheaper than Binance, and Binance is known to be the cheapest exchange. It's also non-KYC on your personal end if you don't want it to be, and that obviously stands true to the values of cryptocurrency being decentralized. You can also KYC if you want to make it easier for tax reasons, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. That means that it is available globally, so everyone in the world can access this exchange due to the fact that it's non-KYC, which is great. It also has a protection fund, which is a very important thing, right? Because exchanges get hacked all the time, and people get hacked all the time by people in their personal lives. If you do get hacked and something happens, you can make a claim to that protection fund. They've got over like $200 million in reserve, so that if you make a claim and your claim is accepted, you can get that refunded into your account. That adds extra security to the exchange as well. And then on top of that, it's got a reward center that's available with my referral link, and you can gain access to over 4,000 USD in rewards. And I think just a temporary time frame, there is an extra little bonus thing going on. If you sign up to the exchange, use my referral link, and you do one trade, you'll get $10 deposited into your account, regardless of whether that was a profitable or negative trade. So go ahead and sign up to the BitGet exchange, use my referral link. It really helps out the channel, and it definitely helps out yourself. This is by no doubt, by no stretch of the imagination, the best exchange I have found in the cryptocurrency market. It's so good that I actually reached out to these guys for a partnership. They didn't reach out to me, so check it out. And then we've also got the Crypto Academy, and if you're interested in becoming a trader, if you're interested to learn how to trade, to learn how to do TA, to learn how to identify market patterns, etc., and navigate an exchange correctly, you can sign up to this course, Become a Trader, a 10-unit course. This course is, of course, developed by myself and Megawell Crypto, who's a fellow analyst in the space that a lot of you already know. We work very closely, and we work closely using our 2 separate perspectives on the market to create one very consolidated, very concise course that is no doubt extremely useful for anyone wanting to become a trader or anyone wanting to improve their trading capabilities. We've got 10 units. All of these units have been critically analyzed by ourselves and also people we know in our personal lives, and we found them to be completely coherent and completely effective in teaching people how to trade. We use different learning strategies, for example, visual learning, verbal learning, practical learning. We've incorporated all of that in, and this is by no stretch of the imagination the best course you're going to find on the internet for cryptocurrency education. So go ahead and email us here at Crypto Academy Courses to find out more information. without further ado, I'll end the video there. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.